Welcome to another episode of the Red, White, and You. And today we're talking boxing. A lot of changes been going on in boxing, a lot of big matchups coming up. So Simon, man, what's on the docket for today?
As you mentioned, we're definitely talking about boxing. We're going to talk about some of the fights that happened recently. Charlo Trout, Crawford Horn, Mares, Santa Cruz. And we're going to also get into a little bit of the fantasy matchups, a little bit of fights that we like to see happen, and the actual fights that are getting ready to take place as well. So we got a full episode of some real good, interesting boxing stuff.
So let's jump into last week's fights. We had Charlo versus Trout, the young lion, the younger of the two twins.
Absolutely.
Fighting against the veteran, the tough veteran, Trout. How'd you like that fight? Charlo ended up pulling it by decision.
Charlo got it by decision. One of the judges were out of their minds with the 113. I just feel that Charlo came into the fight with some real bad intentions and wanted to get Trout out of there, but Trout never gave him the opportunity. When we spoke about it prior, I thought that Trout fought on survival mode, like he really didn't want to engage. But to be quite honest, throughout the fight, he had moments where he threw combinations and he stood in there with Charlo. So I think it was more so strategy than, oh, I'm just not going to engage with Charlo, because he did. He did.
I didn't think Trout wanted that smoke. I felt like he was just in there to survive, like Simon was saying. But Charlo, I like his new aggressive style. I feel like he's getting himself ready for the big matchup with Hurd.
You said you felt like Trout didn't want to exchange?
Yeah, I felt like Trout.
I think it was strategy, though. I don't think it was. I said before when we spoke about it that it seemed like at first it was just hype off. It was like, oh, he went in there trying to survive. He didn't want any. He didn't want to really get into it. But watching the fight over again, it looked like it was more strategy than just, oh, I didn't want to.
I don't know. It felt like Trout had a nicotine patch on. I felt like he ain't got that smoke, man.
And your wife, Jen, did mention also that something was
Why
funny.
throwing all my info out here?
We did it on the first video, bro. But she's definitely the brains behind this whole operation. Just shout out to Jen. But she talked about his shoes and said that there was something wrong
Well,
with
he definitely had Walmart joints on. Like, right where they got the tires and the car stuff, he bought his shoes right in that aisle. That was some Bobos, definitely. Trout, you got enough bread to get yourself some decent shoes. There was some off-brand joints. Back of the Chinese factory joints.
What's that? Who's Klay Thompson with again? What brand?
Ling Ling.
Yo.
Ling Ling.
Whatever. But them shoes it was crazy.
He's a size 9.5. He was rocking a 14. That was crazy.
Yeah, it looked funny in there. But Charlo did put on pressure like he always does. But he could have done a little more boxing. I think he could have jabbed a little more, went to the body a little more, been a little patient. Like Paulie Malignaggi said, Charlo was smothering his own shots. Whenever he had an opening to go in at Trout, he just didn't really kind of analyze his range and kind of just smothered all his shots. So I think he did a lot much better work technical than he did in that fight. But of course, he won the fight.
Hey, that's what's more important. The W is what's more important.
So tell me a little bit about Crawford Horn.
Man, Crawford beat Horn like Horn owed him money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he beat him like the IRS we beat people's wages, okay?
Wow.
Horn shot the Horn for having a good chin, but that was an old school, just take him out behind the shed and whoop him up.
So Horn is overrated. It's just all promotion.
I didn't know he was rated, period. I didn't know you have to be rated to be overrated.
All right, so he was just strictly good promotion.
He was just there to be a punching bag.
So the Pacquiao fight was definitely boxing politics.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. Horn is an average fighter. Crawford is a special fighter. That's what happens when you put somebody an average with a fighter with a C fighter. That's what you get.
Funny you mentioned that. So talking about how special Crawford is, he's a great fighter. I like him, but in the welterweight division, how special do you think Crawford is as a welterweight?
He's up there. I would put Spence above him. I put him in the top 3 right now.
You put Crawford in the top 3 of welterweights?
I put him in the top 3.
And he ain't fought no real welterweight yet?
He hasn't had the opportunity yet, but he will.
Okay, but so why would you put him on the top 3?
Because I feel just based on skill alone, he's better than 90% of these welterweights.
Listen, he got skill, but he don't have like no crazy, like, oh man, this man's a genius skill. He just has good boxing skill.
Who beats him in the welterweight division? Let's challenge what I say. Who beats him?
Okay, who beats Terrence Crawford?
Yes.
I think Spence, number 1, beats him. I think Keith Thurman would beat Terrence Crawford.
I disagree.
Why would you disagree? Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman.
He's ducking Spence right now, but it's Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman is gonna have Crawford will give him a lot of problems.
No, but we're not talking about problems. We're talking about who wins.
He wins. Of course, Crawford will beat. Keith Thurman is overrated. That's
No,
a fight
he's
that's
not overrated.
He's overrated.
Listen, I'm
He's overrated.
Man, we've
He's
had
overrated.
countless conversations where we talk about how great Keith Thurman is. The only problem we have with Keith Thurman is he's ducking Spence. That's the only thing.
Keith Thurman, stop tripping downstairs and breaking your hands on everything. Get in the ring, man. Stop ducking.
Bro, he's not trash, bro.
I didn't say he's trash. I never said
You say he's overrated.
He's overrated. That doesn't mean he's trash. That doesn't mean he's not as advertised.
Keith Thurman is not trash. He's not overrated. I think he lost his desire for boxing. You know, the hunger, like as everyone mentioned, he got married, got a new chapter in his life.
Started putting cocoa butter in the braids. Yeah, looking real shiny. That means he lost that hunger. I like that dry, nappy Thurman, man. He was hungry.
Look, man, listen. New things happened for him. I think his hunger kind of died down. He's the super champ, so his hunger died down a little bit. Well, he got stripped. Okay, you're right. But I don't think that he's overrated or anything. I think he earned where he's at.
Okay, so you say Spence beats him in your opinion, Thurman beats him in your opinion, so he's at number 3. Who else beats him? Because you say he's not.
Okay, so I think it'll be a good fight with him and Danny Garcia as well.
He will outbox Danny Garcia.
Well, of course, a lot of people would outbox Danny Garcia, but that's what I'm saying about Crawford. Crawford has good boxing skills, but he's not like this pure boxer that's just.
He's not.
You know, so
in the landscape of the welterweight division, he's top 3. You just made my point.
No, because I think Danny Garcia beats him.
Wow. And this is why you don't do drugs, folks.
I think Mikey Garcia even gives him a little. You know what?
What?
You know how they beat him?
Who? They Puerto Rican?
No.
Don't say bro. Shout out to AB, but AB crazy as hell.
Nah, look, man. Not to even get into that. That's a whole nother episode just on AB. But I do think maybe you could say top 5, just because we appreciate him. But you know, this is his first welterweight fight. Like, come on, man.
We got a lot to come from Crawford. Crawford's going to answer a lot of the questions we have on him in the near future. I think a good step up for him next probably would be maybe a Jesse Vargas.
That's a good look.
Yeah, that would be a good step. That would be a good, better welcome to the welterweight division.
Right, because he's really fighting. You're trying to put him up against Spence.
Yeah.
Like, that's too early. Quickly, Mares, Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz clearly now clearly you're the better fighter.
Yeah.
Great fight both times. First fight was a little closer. Second fight really solidified why Santa Cruz is just the better man, period. I don't see this turning into a trilogy or whatever the case may be. Santa Cruz, we have that. That's done. Another interesting thing that happened, Deontay Wilder and Joshua.
Wilder has signed the contract. He's agreed to the terms. We might have a fight, folks.
Undisclosed terms, though. We don't know
Undisclosed
what the
terms,
numbers really
but
are.
they say it's a 2-fight deal. First fight in the UK, second fight, the rematch in the US. Apparently, they're just waiting for the contract to be signed. Hearn says that he's looking for it later on this year.
Well, that's funny too, because the date switches. Is first you confirm there's a fight that's gonna happen, and then you're like, September, that's Canelo Triple G rematch. So I mean, of course, that's not a good business deal. You don't want to compete with that. And then you talk about a different venue you have, which may not be available. So now you
O2 Arena, they want to go do it at Cardiff.
and then
Both
so,
like 90,000 each.
and so and of course, you mentioned earlier that the mandatory for Joshua is
Alexander Povetkin,
that who
you know has been knocked for PEDs in the past. Wilder's supposed to go to Russia to fight him,
and
got
that
knocked
fight
in
didn't happen.
PEDs. Yeah, so but we'll see how that works. You know Eddie Hearns, man. Eddie Hearns always got something in his pocket he's gonna pull out. So we'll see how he manages it. But the fans, we want that fight is ASAP.
ASAP. I know you can't compete with Canelo in September, but it needs to happen in October.
Let's do it in October. You got money to spend in October? You gonna spend it in September, spend it again in October? That's what they want to know. Are you gonna spend the money the next month later?
Why? If he fights, if he doesn't fight Wilder first?
I feel like they said that they're worried about their argument is you're gonna spend the big, basically $100 to fight to watch the Canelo Triple G. Will you now next month spend the same money?
Hell yeah!
Like that.
Hell yeah! We've been waiting for Joshua Wilder.
I will spend that all day. Every day.
I don't think that's gonna be $100 pay-per-view. It might be $80.
That'd be not worth it. But I will pay whatever they want to charge. I think that's a big fight.
Don't say that because then they're gonna run with it. Look, $80 is what this fight deserves for HD. $80, all right?
$4.99.
Pay Pay $59.99 for some regular shit and $80 for HD. That's what I say. Don't listen to this guy. You're trying to mess our pockets up. But so that's
this package.
stop it. That fight needs to happen. So mentioning the Canelo fight in September, let's touch base on this rematch. The first fight you had Triple G winning, I had Canelo winning. People who actually saw the fight, I'm sure you had Canelo winning. Canelo outclassed him, outboxed him, landed the most power punches Triple G has ever felt in his whole career. Canelo won that fight. Okay, that's what it was. They wanted a rematch. Boxing politics wanted a rematch, so it came out a draw. But Canelo won that fight.
Triple G won that fight. He was the aggressor in the fight. Canelo,
Ineffective.
he kept Canelo on the back foot, which negated a lot of Canelo's power. I had the fight 115-113. I felt clearly, especially the beginning of the fight, Triple G controlled the fight. He gained Canelo's respect early. And I think in the later of the fight, Canelo did come on, but I still think Triple G had enough rounds in the bag.
He didn't have no rounds in the damn bag. That's what I'm telling you. He was outclassed. Triple G, there's something called effective aggressiveness. His aggressiveness was not effective because he was getting outclassed.
He was. That right hand landed, that jab kept Canelo on the back foot. Canelo never had a lot of...
Canelo kept slipping the jab and countering.
Canelo landed how many solid punches in that fight?
I don't know the exact numbers, but he landed the most of
Very
anybody.
good,
No.
Very good. Everything was off the back foot. Triple G did what he's supposed to do because he's not the better boxer.
No, he's supposed to knock out. This is
he's
Canelo's
supposed
second
to apply
fight.
pressure.
This is Canelo's second fight at middleweight. So
Don't say that.
That's his second fight at middleweight.
You know, but he also jumped to 164 to fight somebody else. To fight Chavez
Jr. But
so he used to the weight.
That's not because that Chavez that was a fluke.
Don't give him any excuse. Don't give him no excuse.
That was a fluke. So Triple G was supposed to knock his ass out like he does everybody else, like the boogeyman of middleweight. He's supposed to knock him out. He didn't do that. Canelo stuck in there, outclassed him, outboxed him, and should have won that fight.
So what did you have?
I had it 115-113. Canelo.
Oh, so he dominated, right?
I didn't say he dominated. I said he outclassed him.
Well, we got a rematch, folks.
We do got a rematch.
I'm sticking by my original statement. I think it's still going to be a close fight, but I take Triple G in a close fight.
All right, whatever. Don't put no money on this guy. Look, last but not least, we didn't do DuckTales the last episode, so this DuckTales is going to be quick, simple, and very accurate.
Who's ducking?
Who's ducking who? On this episode of DuckTales, the whole welterweight division, excluding Terrence Crawford, is ducking Errol Spence. That's what it is. He's the boogeyman at welterweight. Nobody wants to see him. Everybody just switches the subject when Errol Spence's name get brought up.
He's like Debo. Everybody tucks their chain.
Everybody tucks their belt in when he comes in.
I have a chain. I tuck mine in because I heard Spence might be around here. I tucked it in.
You saw. And that's because Errol Spence is really out here bullying people. And that's this episode of DuckTales. It's sweet. I guarantee you, everyone who watches this agreed to us. The whole welterweight, aside of Terrence Crawford, because he's popping off, is ducking Errol Spence Jr., and rightfully so they should.